You're listening to Hunting the Frontlines, part of the Praying and Slaying podcast network. This show is led by retired Army Sergeant Justin Wilson and dedicated to the men and women hunters who serve or have served in the U.S. military and chase game wherever they're stationed. From on-base hunts to wild ground just outside the wire, Hunting the Frontlines is your go-to resource for scouting new terrain, learning the ropes, and making the most of every opportunity at your next duty station. Now let's dive in.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is your host, Justin Wilson, and welcome to Hunting the Frontlines podcast. Today's guest is going to be Jeremy Bell. He's an Air Force veteran. He hunts a lot of public land, hunts a lot of different military installations. Today, we're going to be focused on hunting Camp Atterbury here in Indiana. And then we're also going to talk about his tips, tricks, and strategies on hunting public land, how he's so successful, and how he can help other hunters maybe get a little more success too in their times. Looking forward to having him on today, and we're gonna pick his brain today, get some good info, and hopefully some of the information we put out there can help everyone else. I know there's a lot of guys here in Indiana that I talked to that didn't know you could hunt some of these different places around here, like Camp Atterbury. You've got Crane, Army Navy Depot, places like that. So I'm gonna get some guys on around here locally too to talk to kind of help everybody out and get the information out there so people can partake in these areas that we have access to that we didn't know we had access to. Once he comes on and stuff, we'll get him in here and we'll get going with it.
All right, let's see.
Hey, what's up, man?
How about that?
Gotcha.
All right. We look like we've strayed a little. Let's get this right. What's up?
How are you? How's it going?
Good. Just got back from work. It's a little warm outside. And I'll be honest with you, I had to remember how to get on a Zoom link for the podcast. So it's I use Teams now at work, so Zoom is no thing of the old now. But
yeah, it took me a little bit to figure this whole thing out too, man. I'm still figuring it out as I go.
Yeah. I'm excited about the podcast though. I mean, I've done a couple. Never in this form before, with so much like military interest. So it's kind of intriguing. Of course, I know a lot of the guys nowadays, they, there's a lot of support, but you ask the right questions. So,
well, and I'll be honest, man, a lot of it is, I'm a vet myself. I did over 20 years retired, and I'm like you. I travel out of state hunting all the time, man. I travel out of state all the time. Well, I didn't have that goal when I signed up either. When I signed up, it's 5 years. 5 years, I was done.
This would have been 21.
Yeah. See, for me, I joined in 90. Well, I joined in 95. Went to basic in 96.
Right. And
I retired in 16. But I look at all your YouTube videos and stuff. I see all the things you post on Facebook all the time, and we got a lot of similarities in common that we do. Like you, I travel out of state to hunt, and I hunt a lot of military bases. I was stationed at them before.
Yeah.
But every base is different to hunt on. And it's like, I know me when I was active duty, I didn't really get to hunt the first part of my career because I was always on the go.
That's right.
I started hunting towards the end of my career, and it's like going to these different bases, you never know what to expect and what hoops you're going to have to jump through to hunt.
Right.
So that's why I want to this podcast is going to have to do a lot with veterans, but I'm going to have guys like you to come on and say, hey, you hunt Louisiana. What's it like hunting down there? Tell us the differences between hunting the Midwest and the South.
Exactly right.
What are the laws like down there? What's the bag limits, all that? What's the hunting like just in general?
Yeah.
So, my big interest now, I wanted to have you on this because I'm going to have you on multiple times if you're up for it.
Sure. I'm always down for some outdoor chit chat.
And that's why I said, me and you, we started talking through Messenger, and we started talking hunting. So, but it's like me, I hunt Fort Knox, I hunt Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, I hunt Kansas, hunt all those, and each one of them has their own different rules and regulations, things you got to do.
Right.
And now, since me and my family moved back here to Indiana from Montana, I want to start hunting like you did. I want to hunt Camp Atterbury. I want to hunt places like that, but I'm getting conflicting information on hunting those.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to have you on today to talk about number one. So this is actually going to be a two-part series here.
Sure.
The first hour, I want to talk to you just about, one, I want to get a background on yourself, your military service. I want to get what got you into hunting, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the second part I want to get is, dude, you've blown me away with looking at your channel and stuff and seeing all this stuff of hunting public ground.
Yeah.
You know, me, I'll be honest, I always get nervous hunting public ground because there's so
Yep.
many people that go out there.
It's
But
overwhelming.
yeah, it is. And it's because there's a lot of it here in Indiana.
Yeah.
You know,
A
we're one of the
lot.
lucky states where we've got national forest and state forest everywhere.
Everywhere. So I know the Indiana DNR, and I talked to them back in, this would have been when I first started hunting public land here.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to them, and they said their goal in there at the time was that no one has to drive more than an hour to reach a piece of public.
Yep.
And I think they've done a really good job of that.
Oh yeah.
That
Now,
means,
so where do you live in the state? Where are you at?
so now I live in right outside of Crane Naval Base now,
Oh, so
which
you're
is,
only an hour from me.
yeah. So I live right outside of Owensburg, out just
Okay.
southwest of Bloomington.
Yeah. Yeah, you're about an hour from me then.
Okay.
And I know
Yeah.
you guys got a ton of national forests up there, just like we do down here.
Yeah, so I can go, pretty much either direction. I've got big spreads of Hoosier and Lake Monroe, and then I can go
Yep.
south. There's big spreads of Hoosier, and then, you can go further out west, and you'll run into a couple WMAs. Glendale's out that way.
Yep.
Lots of property out there. And then you've got, some other FWAs close to the Illinois border. I know Fairbanks is out there, a lot of other
Yep.
public land, but I, I pretty much started cutting my teeth pretty much on one small piece of public, right? And
Yeah.
and for the longest time, I had this booner or nothing mentality, and there was these guys that would say, "Well, you can't kill a booner if a booner's not there." And well, I was just like, "Well, let's watch." Well, 10 years went by, and I never killed a booner. And so I learned very quickly you cannot kill a big deer where a big deer does not live.
Yeah.
And even though it had all the crops and it looked good for being the smallest piece of public or the only piece of public within that area, 1,200 acres, it gets hit hard, if you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Now, there every now and then there'd be a good one killed, and I did get, a couple of good ones on camera, but they were 8 years, 9 years apart.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
and so I basically learned the public land game hunting that. But then once I came down here, I was just blown away. It's overwhelming. There's no way I could ever look at every hill and holler over here. And that's why I'm not ashamed to say I hunt the Hoosier National Forest.
Yep.
Because all these people, about the name dropping, well, come on. If you can find me, come on.
Yeah.
It's huge,
It is. It is. There's people don't realize how much public ground there is in Indiana to hunt.
A
I
lot.
lived in Montana for almost 4 years, and Montana is full of public ground to hunt.
Oh, I
But
bet.
you move back here, and it's just everywhere. And it's from north to south, east to west. It's everywhere.
I haven't hunted up
So
north very much. I'm not very, being from Mississippi, I try not to go very far north.
So give me a little history on yourself. Tell
All
me
right, well,
tell me what got you into hunting, what got you to join the military, what made you want to get out. Tell me your path from start to finish, what got you to this point.
all right. Well, I grew up in Grenada, Mississippi, and I was born into a natural hunting family
Okay.
down in Mississippi, in that particular part of the state. It's south of Memphis. It's east of the Delta, because you
Yep.
go on one side of 55 and you got the Delta, and then you go on the Grenada side of 55, and it starts to get a little bit hilly out east Mississippi. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, Grenada is also where the number one crappie lake is, Grenada Lake.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, Grenada
Okay.
Lake is the number one crappie lake in the country, most sought after lake. But when we grew up there, we always would hunt the lake because my grandma, she lives right across the street from U.S. Corps land.
Yeah.
And so back then it was all hunting clubs. Even now to this day, most of Mississippi, every guy I pretty much run into is all involved in some type of hunting club, but they still dabble on public.
Okay.
And so I never hunted public land in Mississippi growing up.
Okay.
My grandfather got me into it because Grandpa McCammon was known as, one of the best cat fishermen around. But he
Mm-hmm.
was also a member of the Red Grass Hunting Club, which was a well-known hunting club back in Grenada. And after, he was not able to I don't know if it wasn't because he wasn't able to. I think we just ended up getting permission on this really great. I mean, this place may have been 500 yards wide, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a mile long, stair-stepped cow pastures. So you could
Oh, that'd be
park on
cool.
the high hill and look all the way down to the flats. And so we had stands all over it. So that's pretty much where I killed my first deer with the well, I call him my uncle. He was like my uncle because that's all I knew him as. But the guy that passed away last week, his name is Jack Hollis. And him, my uncle, and my grandpa, they taught me everything I know about the woods, the woodsmanship. They
Yep.
used to throw me up against a tree stump and say, "Don't move" for like 12 hours. What? And then all the breaking the branches it's a funny story about this. So I told you, get your popcorn, buckle up. Uh, so my uncle, funny, I had to follow, him around, and I'd have to listen to him turn around and yell at me for breaking sticks, and I'd have to follow him everywhere to learn the woods. And I went back spring, Mississippi's whooped me for turkey.
Oh
And
yeah.
and I asked my uncle, I said, "Uncle, let's go turkey hunting. Let's go walk." He said, "I'm not walking like you, Jeremy. I don't care who you I ain't doing it." And so I grew up having to follow him around, but he won't walk and help me, turkey,
Yep.
because he's a member of a big hunting club now, and usually they have to be with us. So uh, he was unwilling to do so. But that's pretty much how I cut my teeth, was hunting on private land. Um, Now this is where it gets kind of crazy. So I went to 6 different high schools.
Yeah.
I started out in Vicksburg, Mississippi, right there along the Mississippi River.
Yep.
And then I ended up in Jackson, Tennessee, at Jackson Central Mary and Northside High School there in town.
Okay.
Tennessee was another big hunting state, but
Yep.
we did not hunt that area. Now, East Tennessee, where I was, actually has a August gun season for velvet.
Really?
Yes. So
Huh.
there is small pieces of public all along the Mississippi River that is in the CWD zone.
Yeah.
And that's what they consider this hunt. It's a CWD zone hunt, or you have to have private land to take part in it.
Okay.
But a lot of people think you have to have private land, but you don't. It's just you
No.
have to research enough to realize what you can and can't do.
Yes.
Um, and so from Tennessee, I went to Pennsylvania. Didn't do any hunting there. Spent my junior year there, and then you get to hearing about this Midwest, about that, junior year, and I was missing hunting real bad. And I'd go back to Mississippi every year just to get in a little bit of tree stand time, but that was
Yep.
how my family connected. So um, from Pennsylvania, my junior year of high school, I ended up in the great state of Indiana and realized very quickly that I was missing out if I don't get my butt on these big Midwest bucks.
Yep.
But I had no clue how to do that. Um, so at that particular time, I had graduated high school. I did not have a sense of direction. I knew my sister was in the Army. My grandpa was in the Army. My cousin was in the Marines. My mom graduated from University of Georgia with her master's degree. My dad graduated from Mississippi State with his master's degree. My sister graduated from Mississippi State with her master's degree. What the heck am I going to do? I was not a high school student. Obviously, I mean, I was, but going to 6 high schools, you tend not to care about grades because they throw you in random classes.
Yes.
And so I knew right away that I had to go a different route if I wanted to get to college, or especially the way I wanted to. I wanted to
Yeah.
play football at the time.
Okay.
And so I said, what better way than to just push the ground to hell, because you're going to have to do push-ups. And I went and signed up for the United States Air Force because I was always drawn to jets my whole life. I didn't do the whole, who was getting shot at, or who was a bullet taker or any of that stuff. I didn't,
Oh
I
yeah.
could have been a Marine. I just was drawn to the jets. At that time, I thought I could fly them.
Yeah.
Don't work that way. There's this thing called the academy you have to go through,
Yep.
and it's highly competitive. So I ended up joining. signing up in 2004, and I ended up at Lackland, Flight 313, 320th Training Squadron.
Yep.
In the summer, my shoes were melting to the tarmac,
Yep.
and that was in Texas. And then I started to, you hear Michael Waddell and growing up and all these big names, and they go out and hunt Texas and how they're so big. And so at that time, I'm starting to kind of hear with the people, the training, all the trainers and the other people around you about, you hear conversations, deer hunting, and they realized very quickly I was from Mississippi and I'm supposed to be this deer hunter. And he comes out, I'll never forget it. He was a training drill instructor, and he came up to me. He goes, "Listen, y'all going out to shoot today. I have one expectation of you, and if you do not meet this one expectation, the whole flight's going to pay. You better shoot marksman today, Mississippi." And well, I shot 42 out of 45, and I got marksman by one.
Yep.
And so I ended up leaving basic training and going to Pensacola. That's where my tech school was, because I was slotted for aircraft structural maintenance. I started training there, and from there I got sent back to the hellhole of the world, Abilene, Texas, at Dyess Air Force Base.
Oof.
It is hot, and they pick up rattlesnakes for fun. And so, and that's where I'll be honest. I lost my hunting for a while because in Texas there is no public.
No.
You can try to knock on doors, but it is not happening. If you do
No.
not have big money or know somebody in Texas, there's a very slim chance. They're very well managed in that area. It's right outside the big oil stuff.
Yep.
So they cared about them mesquite bushes and who's on their property. I even tried, and it did not ever come to fruition. And
No.
so I went, I spent all my time there. I was an aircraft structural maintenance troop in the 7th Bomb Squadron there. Worked on the B-1s, the C-130s.
Yep.
A lot of the time I was in the corrosion prevention. That's probably a year, just learning, the whole paint aspect and stripping. And then it progressed forward from there. At that time, I did not see 16 years into the future. There were a few tech sergeants that I did not get along with.
Yep.
And I had a fiance back here. And so I chose to get out, and I came back to Indiana. The only job offer on the time was Area 51, and I didn't want to go west.
No.
So I came back to Indiana, and that very next year is when I started, and I said, listen, I the only thing I've ever known is to hunt, and I knew I had to work. That's it. But I had too much free time, and I knew I was trying to get back to college, right? So I was trying to go to Ball State.
Okay.
Because that's where I was living in Muncie.
Okay.
And so my dad lives right across from Ball State, so I wouldn't have to pay the room and board. So I got a job, and then I immediately got my butt into the woods there on that piece of public property. And I just, I cut my teeth, right? I didn't, today is all about listening to people and trying to gather bits of information. I didn't do anything. I went out there and put boots to the ground and leather on it and found sign. And then, over the years, you get an instinctual reaction to what you see or how you should do this. And I would always see good deer, but I would just never see like one you would see. And this is before THP. This is before YouTube, really. You would just never see those type of deer. But what was happening is like people like Jeremy Aaron, he was traveling all over the country way back when. And so a lot of guys like him, the old school guys that I tend to be drawn to, and I like Mr. Dale Wildman up in Pennsylvania that I went turkey hunting with this year. I want to say he's in his mid 60s. And I told him, I said, I truly enjoy learning from the older school guys more than I do the younger guys because they know everything.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I cut my teeth and I step after step, and then I spent year after year there, and I actually bought a house because I loved that property so much right across the street from it.
Wow.
And I learned, and I ended up getting 4 gobblers from that property as soon as they opened it up, 4 years in a row. At that point, it was the most killed off of that place. And as
Mm-hmm.
far as deer, I mean, I would just, I would kill deer, yeah, but I just never got that big one. And so I said, listen, I got to figure out how to find them. And I said, well, people talk about the Hoosier. This is when the like Bucks of Indiana webpage and
Yep.
Facebook started kicking up, and I'm
Yep.
seeing all these guys going random ridges on pieces of public, and I'm like, I guess at that time I was against traveling for deer hunting.
Yeah.
Why am I going to drive 3 hours to the Hoosier National when I got a piece of public in my backyard? But
Yep.
it also cost me years of deer hunting, quality deer hunting, because I believed in this one piece of property.
Yeah.
And then I said, forget that. And I found Brookville Lake,
Yep.
and that's thousands and thousands of acres. So I spent the next 4 or 5 years there hunting it, cutting my teeth, learning the crops, the big hills, the acorns, the scents, thermals, the highs, the lows, how to use a kayak,
Yep.
how to use the water access. I've always been a mobile hunter, but I slowly started to get more and more into the mobile game. And then when I moved down here, because I met my wife, and on our second date, she said that her dad had land in southern Indiana. Somehow I married her. Mm,
Funny how that works.
funny. So now we live on that property, and now I have access to it and all this public around here.
Yep.
And so the growth, I know a lot of people want instant gratification. Let's say they want to watch this show and run out there and see exactly what they see.
Yeah.
It took a long time before I started seeing big deer, and now it's finally coming to fruition. And I've put a lot of work into it to where I can go to a piece of property and I can either eliminate it, or I can even say this will be better in November,
Yeah.
or this ain't hot right now, but it will be.
Yes.
And so that's basically the travel to the public grind. Here we are.
Well, I don't think you wasted your time sticking to that one piece of ground. I think a lot of it
No,
is it's it's what taught you and made you who you are and made you
exactly.
successful.
That's right.
You know, my big thing was when we moved back here, I told my wife, I said, the only way I'm leaving Montana is if we go back there and we buy a piece of ground.
Mhm.
I want my own piece of ground I can set up and I can make it what I want it to be. Because that's the one thing I'm good at. Like you, I can walk into a piece of ground and look around, but okay, yeah, you can see all the sign, you can see
Yeah.
the old rubs, the scrapes, the trails. Okay, I know there's food here, I know there's water there. They're gonna be using these trails coming through here. I'm gonna get something in here and get some cameras up and start looking. And it's one of those things where I'm good at going in and making it better. Like I'm still working on mine. I haven't been able to this year because I just had surgery.
Sure.
So I'm
Sure.
still trying to recover from that. But now I got 2 little boys that are wanting to really get into it. I don't feel comfortable enough yet taking them on public ground.
Right.
There's just too many guys out there that should not have weapons that
I
do.
agree.
So it's like I want to get this set up here for my boys to hunt, and I'll go on public ground.
Yeah.
So that's why I hit you up last year after deer season was over, because I want to learn myself, and I know
Yep.
other listeners and people watching this are going to want to learn too.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you look for when you go and you find these pieces of public ground? What do you look for? Because I know me and you talked. I was actually sitting in the tree stand the first time we talked,
Right.
and I want to learn how you look at a map and say, okay, I'm gonna check this place out, and then
Right.
you were explaining it to me through text. This is what I look for. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So tell me and tell everybody else, how do you decide? Okay, I want to check this piece of ground out. What do you see? Because I'll be honest, man, I like the mobile hunting too. I use a climber
Right.
a lot. I can't get into the saddle
yeah.
stuff,
Right.
and a lot of it is just because of my back and my neck and everything. So I like
Sure.
my climber, but I use Onyx too. But I don't
Right.
know
Right.
what to look for when I pull up Onyx and I look at the map, and so I can just pick a. I think one piece I showed you, which I was going to tell you too. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this year, but if not this year, next year I'm gonna have you come down. We're gonna take the boat and go out to the lake, and I got a little honey
Yep.
hole. We're gonna go out there and hit.
Sounds good to me.
I went out there last year. I shot a doe. saw two nice big bucks, but I learned then I should have went further back in and got set up. I'd set up too close to the
Right.
water's edge.
Yeah.
But I sstill got a doe, and I mean, I've seen a ton of deer and a ton of turkey just in a 4-hour set.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get you out there and kind of take you around a little bit too, and we'll go out to the lake and kind of show you some spots and have you look around. We'll get some setups going and see what we
I
can
think
do.
you hit it. As far as that's a great question. You hit it right there on the head, next to the water's edge. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, if you want to kill bucks or you want to find me next to the water's edge, whether it's a creek, a river,
Mm-hmm.
a lake. Number one, I'm obsessed with it now, and I've gotten a few tips from some of the old school
Yeah.
guys. Like if I'm driving,
Mm-hmm.
I could be going to another state. I go from here to Mississippi all the time. Sometimes I'll take a different route just to see if there is something over there off season.
Yep.
I will look at something on the map and say, hey, let's go look at this. At the same time, I'll also normally it has to have water and a really good water source.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to get away from people. I'm not one of those guys because some of the best and the biggest deer I've seen are actually 100 yards off the parking lot for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's usually later into season, but you'll see these bigger deer closer to the, everybody thinks they go further in. I'm a believer of the opposite. I think they actually come out. We used to have some go in, but
Okay.
just what I've seen. But another thing is the terrain and the food. Food is
Yeah.
the biggest thing early season. In November, you almost don't necessarily need those tips. In early October is when you need to worry about the food. And this whole process for me starts actually, I mean, if you really want to consider, I usually start June 1st with my place. I'll
Yeah.
hang cameras, set my minerals out. As of tomorrow, I'm going to be going out to my pieces of public and setting up my cameras that I've currently found. And so
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. That buck that I posted yesterday on my Facebook,
Yeah.
how I found him. So I said, listen, I want to know every single piece of public property within an hour to 2 hours of my house and
Okay.
eliminate or at least go take a peep at each one. Now, if you know Bloomington, that's a lot of land.
It is.
So I
It
had to
is.
break it down even further. I had to just let's go within 30 minutes, 45 minutes of the house.
Yes.
So that's what I did. And so I ended up with a beautiful area that is way out in the middle of nowhere. I drove out there one day and I just saw, creek that looked amazing. I saw a dirt road and just fields and absolutely no traffic for miles and miles. And I said, this is looking good. And so I got to the parking area. There was no tire tracks. There was no boot tracks, no nothing. And I'm like, am I dreaming? Like, what's going on? I mean, nobody else is here. So I walked through the woods and and another thing that I use is ox bows. It's got to have an ox bow on it if early season anyway.
Okay.
Because ox bows usually is what I have found deer will go over or travel up into to split into the
So
crop.
now what is that? Explain what that is.
So basically, your oxbow is almost like an island that is surrounded by water on all sides. That can either
Okay.
go into a big ridge line or it's just a big flat that comes into a point like a circle, and then
Okay.
it'll come back. It's basically surrounded by either crops or woods on both sides to where they can easily access and get down this point without being detected.
Okay.
And big deer love these things. They love oxbows. And so I just went straight to the oxbow and I said, this looks good. Got down to the water. The crops were on one side.
Yep.
I just found the deer runs. I found the
Yep.
runs right on the creek and I hung cameras and I ended up with, I think last year there were 7 or 8 shooters in that bottom.
Jeez.
And
Okay.
I ended up, I hunted until October 20th and got angry and just slung one. And I probably shouldn't have shot that deer, but I was happy. It was on my place, it was the first track for my dog, but I let all those deer go the minute I slung that arrow.
Yep.
And so I haven't searched for them again, but I have seen a few of them, 2 of them. I saw Blades. He's a big, big, big. 11 point, I think he is, with a little unicorn kicker coming out. And I
Nice.
actually jumped him 2 times in person. He was laying in the same bed.
Dang.
And, but another thing is early season is acorns, acorns, acorns. You know,
Yes.
they're in the fields early with the beans, but as soon as it starts to turn and it's hot, them acorns start hitting the ground. I immediately look for where the white oaks, the red oaks, all the oaks are.
Yep.
But you don't just go look for the oak trees, right? You got to look for the feed trees. You got to look for where the deer poop is, the deer tracks.
Yep.
And then you can kind of figure out from there, do I want to set up on this side or this side based on the wind?
Yeah.
And so food's big early season, water, usually a buck early season like that, from what I've heard from some of the older people, is they're usually not very far from
Yeah.
a water source when it's hot. So you
Yep.
could assume within a couple 100 yards of that main deer run going into that bean field or going down to cross the creek, they're somewhere
Yep.
close to that early season. And then absolutely, and I say this, you can map scout as much as you want to. Until you put boots on the ground and actually start to get out there, you're not going to learn as much as you could.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I do it pretty much.
Well, I mean, you're right about that. I'm glad you brought up the thing about the acorns because that's what it took me. It took me a little while to kind of figure that out. I
Yeah,
was always focused on you got to have food plots. You got to have food plots, food plots, food plots. They're a good bonus,
sure.
but acorns, like you said, it actually came to fruition for me last year.
Right.
So I only own 30 acres here. That's all I have. I shot my biggest buck off my own 30 acres last year.
Nice.
Now, he was only 134 inches, but he was a mainframe 6-point, 25 and a half inch inside spread.
That's a pretty big 6-point.
Very big. And I'll be honest, I had seen him once live on the hoof 2 seasons before when he was a 6-point.
Right.
And I jumped him up with a doe, and where they were at was right here. So on Onyx, one thing I enabled on mine was it'll show you where all the oak trees are in an area.
Right. Yep.
I put that on as soon as I found that was on there. I put it on so it would show me. My property, I have a ton of oak trees here, but Marathon gas line runs through my property.
Even better.
Gas line going this way. I've got a light line going north to south. Well, right here, not 75 yards from my house, I've got a huge oak thicket right there.
Yeah.
The deer are always in there. They're always bedding right there. They have food there. They have cover. That's where they're at all the time.
Is it in between the two?
Yeah. Technically it is. Yeah. Yep. And so I trying to set this up for my kids. I went on the gas line. I got a hold of Marathon, talked to them. They came out and marked the gas line for me. I went in and put probably 1/4 acre food plot, just a little kill plot pretty much. But I had oats in it. I had turnips, sugar beets, stuff like that. Mainly stuff for late season.
Sure.
Pretty much.
That stuff that don't turn sweet till the first frost.
Exactly. Just something and it's not even going to draw them in because I'm surrounded by crop fields.
Sure,
I mean, the farm to the south of me is probably, I don't know, 700-800 acres. I got 2 big crop fields up here to the east of me. I've got a few more to the south, everywhere, just all over the place, or west, everywhere. And I just wanted something just when they're passing through to stop for a minute.
Absolutely.
Just stop, give my kids a shot, and that's it. But what I learned last year, really, the food plot's great. It keeps them there eating for a minute in the open. But I've got so many deer that are crossing. I've got a 2-man ladder stand up for me and my boys.
Yeah.
They're crossing right up this old logging road right next to the stand going up into the food plot, but they're going up in those acorns.
Yeah.
And that's how I got that buck last year. It was October 27th. I had 2 doe.
That's about right.
Yeah, it's perfect times. They're starting to show interest in the doe, but it's not the full-blown rut yet.
They're still hungry out there.
Yes. Yeah, and they're wanting to eat too. So it's like the doe, they're heading to the food. Bucks are following. Well, I had 2 doe bedding, one bedding next to me. One was up here on the edge of the food plot eating. Well, I made the one mistake you don't make. That time of year, you shouldn't be on your phone. I was on my phone, messing around on Facebook, looking at stuff, checking out people, what they killed that day or whatever. And I just hear this thump.
Yep.
I hear another
thumping
thump
at you.
I look up, there's a doe standing right in front of me in the food plot stomping. She calmed down because I can't bow hunt anymore as my shoulders. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries and four spine surgeries.
Mm.
So I use a crossbow. Well, I just
Right.
took it and slid it this way, and I'm leaning back, getting the crosshair settling on her shoulder. Yep, I love mine. I love that thing.
Not ashamed.
No, it's like I have to. I mean, if I want to be in the woods and be able to hunt, I'm using it. So she calms down. She works her way up into the edge of the woods there, and she's going in to eat on the acorns. And I hear this grunt next to me. I look over, and there he is standing there, but he's facing this way, so I just see that one side, that big fork.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. You just see the fork. It's like, I don't know. He walks up about 15 yards and stops up here, and he's getting to go on the edge of the woods. He looks at me, and all I saw was that big spread. I was like, yep, shooting him. I stood up, settled the crosshairs, drop. Well, it hit him. He run. And then as he's running, I hear another grunt. Look over, there's a big 10-point standing here on the gas line looking at me. I was like, what's going on?
And this was the 28th?
Yeah, 27th.
27th. So I actually have one of my bigger buck encounters on the 24th, and he was full blown.
Yeah.
He was ready to rock.
It's crazy because normally in Indiana, you don't see that until first, second week of November.
Right.
And it all depends on the weather too. It's, weather's a big factor.
I think it depends on the age class of the buck you're dealing with too, especially if he's the big one in the area. He's liable to fire up a little quicker.
Yeah.
I know the young ones, they do.
Oh yeah, they always do. That's You'll see them in the middle of October running around acting stupid.
Yeah. So last year I did not notice the acorns really dropping until probably the 20th of October. I went on my ridge and found a ton of them. I mean, it was a bumper crop last year.
Oh yeah.
But another thing, I have eliminated oaks altogether and hunted river bottoms and creek bottoms between two food sources, and it's amazing as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, because they got a lot of cover down in those valleys. That's
big.
A big thing too, man. A lot of people don't look at that, and that's the way I look at hunting. And I'm sure you're the same way, as you've got a lot of experience doing it too. The way I look at hunting is you can learn every day.
Every day.
And if you ever get to the point, I told my kids this: if you ever get to the point you know everything, it's time to quit.
That's it. Because
you're going to end up getting somebody hurt. You're going to end up hurting yourself, or you're going to ruin everybody else's hunt because you're going to be out there doing stupid things.
Yeah.
So, I'm picking up on a lot of things that, like you mentioned here about the acorns and the river bottom stuff like that. I've got another buddy of mine. He's from North Carolina. That's all he grew up hunting was river bottoms.
Yeah.
So anytime we go to a different piece of ground to hunt, he's always looking for river bottoms.
They're just big deer. They just like them for some reason.
Well, and I mean, I'm already learning a lot from you just talking to you about this. And it's like, man, I'm learning a lot from you guys. So I'm going to start putting that stuff into effect here in my everyday hunting wherever I go.
Yep, that's it. That's how I did it, right? So I found a couple of guys that I could really rely on. And they didn't even have to have the world's biggest deer, or a lot of them. They had to have more years than me.
Yeah.
And I've always been a firm believer, if you want to be something or someone, find somebody who did it better and is better than you.
Yes.
And so that's what I've done. And I'll give you an example. I went down a completely blind hunt. I picked the spot off the map. I ended up at Patoka Lake.
Yep.
Right. The tethered crew came out here last year, and they do these public land challenges now, and they themselves, THP and Infault came out here, and it's not as easy. Like everybody thinks there's big deer everywhere. There's big deer here, but it's not just like an easy hunt. And I went to Patoka Lake completely blind, and I did exactly that. Got close to the river bottom, and I went in with my climber.
Yep.
I had a buddy of mine that was coming down from New York, Brett, who's actually another guy that got me started into traveling hunting. He called me up, a complete stranger, and said, "Hey, you want to go to Kentucky?" Sure. Well, we killed a gobbler like 20 minutes after we met. So that started the whole stranger thing. That's a whole nother topic. But, I went down into this bottom, and I seen two things. I seen ducks undisturbed down in the little bit of water that was down there. And I saw that it had dried up, but on the other side of this thick cedar thicket was the river going out. And at that time, I got this box here. At that time, I had to drop down into this bottom. I wanted to go and check that dried up hole for
Yep.
tracks. And as soon as I dropped down in there, I seen these cedars, and I mean, there was a tree probably this big around, which is another thing I wanted to touch base on about Wilbur. Earlier when I spent all those years on that property,
Yeah.
I'd see buck sign. There is a
Yep.
major difference between buck sign and big buck sign, right?
Yes.
You know, a big deer can rub a little tree. That is true. But
Mm-hmm.
a little buck cannot rub a big tree.
No.
Okay. And so I dropped down into that cedar thicket, and I mean right on the point where and I actually posted the buck on yesterday, where he came walking towards me, and he actually walked all the way around and came all the way to me to 32 yards, and he came from uphill down into that little bit of water where them undisturbed ducks were, and there was a doe that was bedded right there on that point. And that, you know, it's just things like that. You know, if you see like a water source that's secluded and it looks undisturbed, there's ducks, there's critters running around. You know, you don't see a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Go down there and check it. You never
Yes.
know what you're going to see unless you go down there. And so that's another thing. I went down in there and got lucky that day. So
Well, I've noticed, man, a lot of people. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people. I know friends of mine that I've hunted with, and I'm sure it's the same way with other people too. A lot of times they're not successful for one big reason. It's laziness.
sure.
They don't want to get out. I mean, you touched on it earlier, and I hear this all the time from other hunters that if you hunt these state park hunts or you hunt national forest or you hunt just any kind of public ground whatsoever, you have to get 25 miles back in the woods.
That is not true.
Sometimes I could see maybe that being the case if the rut's on. If the rut's on, I could see that because a lot of doe will stay back in the back in the cover and stuff because they're being pushed around by all these
Yeah, they're
different.
harassed. Yeah.
But early season, especially the first part of October, deer are out looking for food. Buck
Yeah.
and doe, they're looking for food. And you've got all these guys walking in, going 5, 10 miles back. They're going to push everything to the front.
That's it.
So it's like, I hear that all the time. Oh, you got to go 20 miles back. No, you really don't. And then a lot of guys don't want to do that. They don't want to get in those areas where you do have the thick cover.
Right,
Because
but
that's one thing.
they feel like they're too close to the truck. There's no way he's going to be right here.
Yeah. And I'll be honest. I've hunted a lot of military bases in my day.
Mhm.
And Leavenworth is the prime example. So I had already killed. So this room here is my hunt room. It's where I keep all my hunting gears in this room here. I've got all my bucks on the wall here that they're a reminder to me to make sure I always have my binos on me.
Yeah. That's new to me. I'm not a bino guy.
Oh man, I'm one of those guys where, especially on my property here hunting it, I get a deer on camera. That's the buck I want. I want to go after that deer. Now I got to figure out. I got to get in his mind and figure out what his thoughts are, and get myself on him. But I've let that happen before, where I get a deer on camera. That's the deer I'm going after. Well, there'll be a smaller deer that looks just like him in the woods, and instead of getting my binos up and checking, I just pull up and shoot. And now I wasted my tag. I didn't waste my tag.
Sure. But it wasn't the one you were obsessed with.
Yes, it's not the one I wanted. So it's like that's why I got it there. But I've killed some that I've got in there in the living room that I spent the time, like you said, doing the scouting, putting the cameras up, doing all that. And it's like I didn't have to go 5 miles back.
Yeah.
But I've seen deer. I got an 8-point in there that I killed in Kansas. And then during gun season, a buddy of mine wanted a place to hunt. So I was taking him to my little honey hole and showing him around. Well, I come out of the woods that morning. I wasn't feeling great. So I went and sat in the truck. The biggest deer I've ever seen live on the hoof walked out of the woods in front of my truck, not 10 feet, right past me across the road and down the woods on the other side.
The military bases
have to go
like
25 miles back to kill one. You don't.
So that brings up another point.
People, yeah.
So my buddy Hunter Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about the binoculars, and this is another thing about people hunting different ways. Like you know, Daniel from Do It Yourself Hunter, for example, he'll hunt for he'll scout for 3 days before he even hunts. Hunter Hogan, on the other hand, he will go just like you. He will obsess over one buck
Yep.
and find him in his binoculars and absolutely go after that one deer and do whatever he has to go after that one deer.
Yep.
Me personally, every deer I get on trail camera, I never see. I might get lucky and see one of them. It's still, but I still have to do it. I need to know a big buck is now at my age. I need to know a big buck is in the area to hunt him.
Yes. Yes.
But that's what I was wondering. And not everybody hunts the same, and it
No.
just shows you that different styles can still work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They can walk back there all they want to.
Oh yeah. That's I was one of those guys. I've done that. I've put my stand on the back of my pack and I've walked 10, 12 miles back in there to get back there to this one little area. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But it's one of those things where, talking to guys like you and talking to, all these other guys I hunt with and I've come in contact with, because I worked in the outdoor industry. I worked for some pretty big companies before, and, I got to network.
Yeah, yeah.
And talking to guys after that, it's like, you really don't have to do that. I don't have to go 25 miles back here to hunt. The deer are going to go through those woods, especially if they live in that area, they're comfortable with. They're going to go wherever they want to go. It's their normal routine. So maybe this booner here walks 25 yards from the parking lot. That's what he's used to. He has the same trail he goes on all the time. I don't have to go way back there to hunt him.
Plus, he knows who's coming and going immediately.
Exactly.
I mean, he can backdoor you before you even shut the back door.
You'll never even know he was there. You'll never even know he was there. And with all the people that hunt public ground that walk through anyway, unless you find that one little piece, that one little area you want to hunt that nobody can get to, then it's not gonna matter. I mean, people are gonna dump them around and run them all over the place. So
I forget who it was. I want to say Dan Info killed a buck that was watching somebody at the parking lot or close to it or something like that, because he had come a lot of times. These big bucks walking these roads, they won't walk the road, but they'll have these trails that are 20 yards apart that separate on the inside where he could pick a window if he wants to.
Yep.
And I guess I remember one of them saying something like that along the lines of how he was backdooring them and watching them, and he got them on the way out. And them bigger ones, I'm telling you, they don't. It's cliche, but they don't get them horns for nothing.
Oh no, they don't. They don't. They're smart. Yep. That's what blows my mind, man. A lot of people, they're just dumb animals. No, they're not. No. They got that big. You got just this one little piece of ground. You've got 20 guys out here hunting with guns. Yeah. And that deer can make it through there and make it out on the other side and make it alive. Pretty smart. Pretty smart.
And they do, because look how big they get. There's giants killed on public every single year here. Yeah, and it's coming up. Now, I ain't trying to give too many secrets away about my food, but no, it's coming up as far as the ranks. Indiana was always overlooked. Of course, with the growth of social media, it's coming up a little bit. But I tell people all the time, I think if they want to come here and hunt, I don't think we would ever see each other. There's a good chance. And gun season, especially with the new laws, that may change. But
yeah, I could see that. Because when I was growing up in Indiana, you had two choices: shotgun or muzzleloader. That was it. Yep. And now with the rifles, I think it's going to bring more people in. But
it's not going to matter, because it's not going to increase the deer harvest, I don't think, because we were already able to use. Of course, where I hunt, I don't have 150 yards to shoot. I'm hunting some thick stuff.
Well, and that's the thing too, man. So I keep telling people I made a mistake 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, I shot the biggest buck of my life. Never found him. Found him. Made a great hit. The deer dropped right in his tracks. Got up and was wobbling down the hill. And it was first morning of gun season. Okay. It was snowing like crazy. And there was no blood. Snow.
Wait, I was at Patoka Lake that year.
Yeah, I was hunting right here.
Snowy morning.
I was sitting so close to my house, I could see my house from my stand.
Okay.
And I was on my Amish neighbor's property over there, and this deer jumped the fence from his field to the woods, and it was about 125 yards away, and all you could see was antlers. That's how big he was. And he worked a scrape over here, made a rub on a tree, starts working towards me, and I got impatient. If I'd have waited another 5 minutes, he would have crossed the trail right in front of me. But I shot him at 85 yards with my 6.5. To me, you're hunting the woods, muzzleloader, shotgun are your two best weapons, in my opinion, unless you're shooting just wide open. But like you said, you're hunting thick stuff. Shotgun, muzzleloader, two best things. If I'd have had my muzzleloader, I'd have dropped him in his tracks. He wouldn't have got up. We tracked that deer, man, forever. So somebody's sitting at home right now with a huge rack in their room, and here I am, nothing to show for it.
I've heard that about the 6.5, man. Why is everybody so happy about it? But I've heard some bad stuff about the hole or something, right?
The 6.5 it's a good round. It is. It's just like they teach you in the military. It's shot placement. That's the biggest thing.
That's biggest.
Shot placement, but I don't blame the firearm at all. It's my fault. But I just feel like if I would have had the muzzler, I had a little bit more power behind it.
That's it.
And that's what I needed.
Power.
Yes, that's what I needed. So
that's why I love my 400 Legend. I just got it last year, and then they opened the law. But the 400 Legend, every deer I've shot, which I hunted Atterbury with it, and I killed that buck I sent you last year with it, and they did not take one single step.
See, and that's
1 inch.
I've never used the 400 Legend. I had a buddy of mine had 350. That's
pretty good.
I don't know if it was him or the gun. I don't know. I'm not going to say names. I don't want to bust him out, but
sure.
Great guy. But 1 year. So when I first moved back, I got permission to hunt 150 acres of private ground in French Lick, like right in town.
Ooh.
Yeah. Great spot. It hadn't been hunted in probably 10 years. It was completely surrounded by hotel property.
Yeah.
Nobody can hunt hotel. So
there's a really good bottom right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I grew up out by hotel property. There's a lot of great spots out there because you hunt them. Well, we were hunting up there, and in that one season, he shot 2 deer, shot a buck and a doe, both at 350, and we never found them. So I don't know if it was him. That's why I don't hold it against the gun. I think it's him. And it goes back to what we talked about a minute ago, shot placement.
In my defense, I got my 400 Legend to reach out there and touch them.
Yeah.
I haven't crossed 50 yards with it yet. That's not my fault.
It's funny you say that because I hunt Illinois. I've got a buddy over there that's got a farm. Me and another buddy go over and hunt Illinois all the time.
Yeah,
and it's
me too.
His farm's 95 acres, I think. And it's just all open pasture fields. He's got one little small patch of woods. It's probably the size of my bedroom here. And that's it. So we have a 2-man like quad tower back in this back field. And that's where we shoot all our deers in that back field. He went and got a 400 Legend. Yeah. He calls me last year. He goes, hey, man, this guy works 7 days a week. He works up for Cummings.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, can you do me a favor? If I drop my gun off tonight on the way to work, can you sight it in for me?
Yep.
Sure, I'll do that. I was a great shot, in the Army and stuff. I ran all the ranges for us. I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Heck yeah.
So I did it the way we were always trained to do, and the way I was taught to do is I sighted in at 100 yards, about an inch and a half high.
That's it.
He didn't like that. Oh, I want it dead on 100 yards. Why? I said, at 100 yards, if I put an inch and a half high at 150, you'll be dead on. 200.
It don't drop till 250. So
yeah. So I was like, you'll be good. So I don't know what the problem is. Well, he's giving me a hard time the whole time. Oh man, I don't know if I trust this thing. Opening day of gun season. Now, Illinois' gun season, is 3 days long. That's the first gun season. Second one's 4. We go out that first morning. The rut is kicking. It is just going. We've got a buck behind us. It's a buck he's been watching on camera. He wants his deer. This doe jumps the fence. Buck comes in right behind her.
I'm listening. Let me grab something.
No, you're good.
I can hear it.
He drops this deer at 50 yards, one shot.
Wow.
He's over there all excited and stuff. I looked at him. I said, you're welcome. What do you mean? I said, you're welcome. I said, I sighted in for you. Look what it did. Oh, that's just luck. I said, oh yeah. Okay. Sure it was. So
my wife didn't tell me the battery was getting low on it.
That's why, I'll be honest, I keep mine plugged in while I'm doing this because
I just noticed it. I just noticed it, so we saved it. We got it. But so the reason why I went with the 400 Legend, I have a buddy. He has the 450.
Yeah.
And the 450 was made for a thumper. The 350 was made for more of a length. And people complained that the 350 was not hard enough. People with the 450 complained it was too hard.
Yeah.
And so when Winchester released the 400 and sent it out, I want to say this was 2 years ago, they sent it out with a couple people and got it all on video. And I seen them just drop,
Oh yeah.
And then I wanted the 350, but by the time I wanted it, it jumped in price because it was like the go-to public land gun.
Yep.
And so I buy the 400 Legend, and they raised the law the next year.
That's the way it always goes.
So,
That's the way it always goes.
but I'm primarily a bow hunter. I have this land, and I know some people would die to have even what I have. I mean, I've got a deer sanctuary right off my house that is a thick, thick, thick bedding area that does love, and this
Yep.
giant ridge. But every time I sit in a deer stand back here, I'm wondering what's crossing my public land spot because I didn't cut my teeth on private really. Like that,
Yeah.
my grandpa showed me how to hunt private by sits here.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Yeah.
There was no learning. There was you shoot what you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I cut my teeth on public land, and so I have all this land, and everybody wants several people every year. I'll get this question. Well, why do you not hunt the property you have? I've got fields, I've got water, I've got the bedding area, I've got the crops back behind us, and alfalfa in all of our fields.
Yep.
And the simple answer is because it's and it may sound bad to some people, but I just have to say how it is. It's boring, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's back there. I know my ridge is never going to change. It's got
Yep.
oak trees up there. I know the property line's that way. That's never going to change. The property line is, 800-900 yards that way. That's never going to change. But I
Yeah.
can go on a piece of public and leave my truck at morning and
Yep.
not come back till dark and never see the same thing twice.
Yep.
And
You like the challenge.
love it. Love the
You like
challenge.
the challenge. That's what it
Love
is.
the challenge of having to actually find them, not grow them. I don't care to grow them. I want to find them, right?
Yeah.
And some people care to grow them, and that's their thing. That's their thing.
Yep.
I'd rather go find one that I know you got a chance to kill, he's got a chance to kill, she's got a chance to kill. It's just, I don't know. It's just like that's why I get so excited in my videos, especially when I get one on public because it really is a feat to actually get a really good deer on public.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I don't know. I'm always sitting on my stand wondering what's on public, so I end up leaving mine. And then last year there was two booners right under my tree stand at my rope, and I didn't find them until 2 weeks later.
Oh,
So I had no idea they were here.
man, that's how it always goes though. It doesn't matter if it's public or private land. You can put the time into it, put cameras out, do all this. And it's like those days you go out and you set because I'm an all day set guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm an all day sit guy at the right time.
Well, yeah. I'm not going out first day of season when it's 85 degrees here in Indiana and setting all day. No, I'm going out that evening and hunting the last 2 hours of daylight.
Yeah, I'd say probably I start the all day sits probably about what you said, that October 28th time frame.
Yep.
I
It's
love
always
the
the end of
pre-rut.
October till about the third week of November. I'll set those 4 or 5 weeks right there from daylight to dark. I'll take a pack with me. I'll have some snacks in my pack, and I'm staying all day because you never know what's going to
girlfriends.
What's that?
I've lost a few girlfriends because of it.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing, man. It's like, oh well, my ex-wife, man, hated me because that deer season come around, I was gone. I was hunting every day because you never know what's going to walk by, and especially if you got cell cameras out, that makes it even worse.
Don't work here.
Oh man.
I cannot get a signal for them to save the life of me.
Really?
And so that's why I didn't know they were back there, is because on my property, just cell cameras do not work.
Man.
And so a majority of the properties I hunt, there's no cell signal.
Wow.
Which is also why you don't see cell cameras in the pieces of public that I go to, because like it's the same problem right on the edge of that cell tower signal, and it just
Mm-hmm.
and by the time if it doesn't, of course, cell cameras, if it doesn't catch signal, it's constantly trying to get signal, and your batteries die within a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another reason. I know these guys are able to use them. I just can't. I mean, I have them for other states, but not.
Yeah.
I can't use them here.
I use two here at my place because I've got two spots I don't like to go into. I stay out of them. I know they bed within 50 to 75 yards where those cameras are.
That's that sanctuary.
Yes. So I stay away from that area as much as I can. Now I have learned though that I can be on my tractor, doesn't bother them.
Nope.
It's
Horses, tractors,
yeah, any of
four
that stuff.
wheelers.
Yeah, doesn't bother them whatsoever. It's on foot, that's when they're gone. They'll run. But
Yeah.
I've got video of me driving in on my tractor with a doe or a buck standing right off the trail looking at me. I'll take a video and they'll just stand there. They don't care. They'll bed back down when I get away.
I don't mention no names. We don't name drop, but I've got a buddy. I ain't say who. He loves that John Deere tractor deer stand, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Loves it. And he is highly successful at it, but he has to make money at the same time. So he's out there cutting and
Yeah.
he's gotten a couple. I actually borrowed he had a CVA Wolf. And last year was the year that I tell you, I tell you, and this is the biggest tip that I can give anybody.
Yeah.
I know some people will go through a whole list of tips for the outdoors on how to kill a big deer. I've got one, and that's time.
Yeah.
If you do not have the time to find and actually go after that big deer, you're going to end up just like me. I had a velvet buck in Kentucky walk by on day 4 when I only hunted 3 days. He was 100 and probably 50, 60 inches, walked right by my camera. And then here in Indiana on my reduction zone buck, the same one that stood under me the year before when my bow was on the ground. Yeah, that's another story. He walked by my camera at 6:30 a.m. on a day right after I spent a 12-hour sit there, but I had to go back to work. So, time is the biggest thing for me. If you can hunt 30 straight days and you have that to hunt, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to get on them with the basic information, food, water, and then during the right time to rut.
Yes.
There is a good chance you're going to get on whatever deer you want to find. And so this year I'm going to spend a little bit more time there. And I think it should hopefully pay off. It just seemed like every time I wasn't there last year, boom, a booner was there. It happened 4 different times to me last year.
See, it's hard with public ground to do that.
Yeah.
Because if guys see your truck in the same area 2 days in a row, day 3, somebody's going to be parked there when you get
Somebody
there.
knows you're there for a reason.
Yep. So it's hard to really be able to put that time in. That's why. So I've got a buddy of mine, Aaron. Me and him met working through one of these outdoor companies, and I'm under his umbrella for my podcast.
Sure.
Me and him, we talked about this, and I told him, I was like, it's great to have. That's what I like about having private grounds. Like I can put all the time I want in.
Absolutely.
But I told him, I was like, what blows my mind is watching because I would see you post stuff on Facebook. We weren't even friends, but you'd pop up on my feed. I was like, who is this guy? So I had you as a friend. I started looking at your stuff. So I went to your YouTube channel. I was checking it out.
Yep.
And I told him, I said, this guy, I don't know how he does it, but he knows how to scout just using an app.
Yeah.
An app right here on the phone or on a laptop, whatever. And then he goes out and he puts the time in with boots on ground, but he's successful.
That's it.
I've got friends of mine, man, they'll spend a whole season hunting public ground. And I'm not saying you don't, but I'm sure they put a lot of time in on apps too, but they're just not doing the right thing.
Right.
So I told Aaron, I was like, I want to get this guy on and talk to him because I'll be honest, I didn't know you were a vet anyway. I didn't know you were in the Air Force.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were just a civilian, but I wanted to have you on because I told him, I said, he hunts Camp Atterbury.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about that and get that out there. But I said, I really wanted to get this out there about the whole hunting public ground. How are you so successful? But now after talking to you, I get it. I get it, and it's one of those I told you before. I want to come out and hunt with you a little bit. And I want to come out here and hunt with me. I'll take you to a lot of the public ground around here because my grandpa, great grandfather's old farm, when he passed away, they were supposed to divvy it up to the whole family.
Sure.
Well, I was gone. I was in Germany at the time, stationed over there, and other family members were gone. So what they did is they sold it to the state. So they made it part of Martin County National Forest. And I think I sent you a picture of the pin I dropped.
You mean Martin State Forest?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take you out there and show you.
I'll go check it out.
Well, this is actually this is in Ohio. My bad. I forgot it's Ohio.
I'll go check it out.
But we got to get together sometime this year and go do some hunting. Because
I actually realized that Indiana got a brand new chunk of property not too terribly far from us. It's like 4,500 acres. It's northwest of French Lick and northwest of me. It's they just got a brand new piece of property. I forget the name of it. But back to your question on how you're success. I've had way more less days being successful. It's only the past couple years that it's actually, like, I'd say the past 5, it's really, really started to pay off to where my gut will immediately eliminate somewhere and it'll take me to where I need to be. And you only get that by cutting your teeth. And there's a lot of young guys that I try to help in the woods, and there was a lot of failures. It's just keep at it. It's in my blood. It's like who I am. I have to be there. So I have to be in the woods. My wife has learned not to mess with hunting season. Bless her heart, because it goes from one hunting season to the other.
Yep. Mine's in that stage now. She's got it now. It's like, okay. Because we knew each other in high school. We were best friends in high school.
Oh, wow.
And I hunted all the time. So she, when we got married, I was married once, was getting divorced. She was getting divorced at the same time. So we got together, and she's like, I know how it is for you. I know you're a big hunter, so I'll just leave you alone. I won't schedule anything. I'm not gonna do anything. That'll be for you. Okay, cool. So she leaves me alone. You know, I still, like, we've got a trip coming up in September. We're going to Aruba together.
Nice.
Yeah, I wanted to get it done then so I can just focus on deer season.
So let's talk about these military base hunts.
This episode is powered by DEADNUTS Outdoors, makers of the most lifelike, lightweight, and weatherproof 2D archery targets in the world. That's right, we said 2D. We're talking full-size animals that brings the hunt to your backyard. Whether you're dialing in before the season or just burning daylight with your bow, DEADNUTS Targets makes practicing fun, training on full-size animals to ensure every rep in the backyard converts to your time spent in the field. Built to last, easy to haul, and 100% made in the USA, DEADNUTS Outdoors is a proud supporter of our veterans, investing in conservation, and they're rooted in building a better, more confident hunter every step of the way. They're proud supporters of the Praying and Slaying Podcast Network, and you can get 10% off your next purchase at DeadNutsOutdoors.com by tapping that link in the show notes. DeadNuts is helping us all hit the spot, not the dot. Hit it, DeadNuts. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, so I want you to tell me, because I'll give you a little bit on where I'm confused with Atterbury, number one.
Okay.
So I know there's 2 sides to it. There's
the
military side and the civilian side.
That's right.
Now, I talked to the state DNR office in Indy last week. They told me you have to put in for a draw.
That's right.
Okay, now I called Atterbury's DNR office. The lady told me you don't have to. She said you can buy tags over the counter and hunt Atterbury. Then the lady at the state office in Indy told me it's a earn a buck. You got to shoot a doe first to kill a buck. The lady at the DNR office at Atterbury told me it's not. So educate me and other listeners, because I'll tell you this. I've got friends of mine that I grew up with around here that they're trying to get into some of these places to hunt. So what is the process of gaining access to Atterbury, and which side have you hunted? Have you hunted the military side, civilian side? Explain this to me so I can get this out there, because I'll be honest, as the host of this podcast, I have no idea. So
the truth is, all of those answers are right.
Okay.
There is
for which side though?
There is a public side of Atterbury that you can buy over-the-counter tags for and go in and hunt. It has nothing to do with the military side. It's its own, almost like a fenced-in FWA.
Okay. Okay.
It is hit hard,
Okay.
but you can go into that area. I believe it's the northwest corner of
Yeah.
Atterbury area.
Yeah.
There is a public section that you can go into just as civilian.
Okay.
There's the military side, which is only open for military members and the club that's within Atterbury, unless you hunt through the Indiana draw system.
Okay.
And so if you do go through the Indiana draw system, that allows you to hunt all of the military side that is completely shut off to the rest of the world. You do
Okay.
have to be drawn for that. And
Okay.
if you're drawn, you get to pick a zone. You get a time, and you pick a zone, and you just start, scouting that zone. That's what I did. I just started scouting a zone, and I have a couple buddies that have done it before. And I know a lot of people say Indiana's a one buck state. It's not. I had
No.
6 buck tags last year here.
Yep.
Um, and another good military base situation is Big Oaks,
Yeah.
the Jefferson Proving Grounds. That is also a draw hunt.
Yep.
So Atterbury, the draw hunts are. I mean, it's from what I saw, it's really hard not to get in.
Okay.
The
Okay.
draw hunts you're usually going to be successful. So I put in for absolutely everything I could put in. I think I put in 10 different hunts and I ended up with 6 buck tags.
Okay.
I do not remember it being earn a buck, but I
Okay.
do remember it is a reduction hunt. And they do have limits on what you can shoot in Atterbury. So there are size restrictions within Atterbury's walls.
Okay.
Uh, and you will get suspended if you break those, and you won't be able
Now,
to hunt
so
for
can you
two
tell me about
years, I
those?
think.
What are they?
So I think the antler restriction was 10 inches. I could be wrong. It's been a while since it was November when I hunted it, but I know that they have to be outside the ears. And if you're not, I mean, they are strict. They
Yeah.
don't want guys to come in and shoot, anything, and you'll get a 2-year buck suspension. You won't be able to kill a buck for 2 years.
Wow.
Um, but then you have say your other military bases. That's just Atterbury. So draw hunt, over the counter, a smaller particular piece of it, or you
Yeah.
have to be civilian, or I'm sorry, you have to either work at Atterbury, a current active duty member, or I believe there is the veteran status. Like I
Yeah.
thought that I could hunt any base I wanted to because I was in the Air Force. That's not true. You
Really?
have to be a veteran holder, a card holder, a veteran status retiree to be able to hunt any base, just like Crane. Crane, I live a mile from the gate. I can't go hunt Crane
See, I
because
thought you could.
nope, you have to either work
Wow.
for Crane or go through their mini. They have a draw hunt too, I think, but it's only open some years. And
Yeah.
or you have to have a percentage through the VA. I think they allow those type of people to hunt.
Okay. Okay.
But um, Jefferson Proving Grounds is another one. You just apply for it, draw hunt. It's Big Oaks. Um, but these military bases, I'm telling you, if you've never put in for them, why not? It's an extra buck tag. You just got to
Yes.
show up, follow the rules, and it's incredible. I mean, you show up with like all these other guys. You're in this. The camaraderie is you help people drag deer out. My zone leader last year, Daryl, he is a hoot. Uh,
Oh yeah.
And I actually killed my doe at Atterbury last year and was gonna try to kill a buck, but I actually ended up in a wreck that night in Nashville. Uh,
Oh
it
man.
was snowing and I hit the bridge.
Oh.
So I didn't get to hunt Atterbury for the second day, but I went back to get my XOP because I'm not leaving it.
Oh no. No.
It's too nice of a setup. But Atterbury and all these draw hunts and state park hunts, you can get. I believe each state park hunt is its own buck tag.
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
early buck, your late buck, your military bases, your big oaks is earn a buck, your reduction zone, your state tag. Uh, there's a lot of buck opportunities here.
Well, let's say I put in for Atterbury this year and I get drawn.
Right. Yep.
Do they give? So I got drawn for Big Oaks, not last year, year before, but the weekend I got drawn for, I was going to be in Illinois for gun season.
Yeah.
So I'm not missing that. So I gave up my spot at Big Oaks.
Yeah.
Now is Atterbury the same way as Big Oaks? You got to show up early that morning and do their little safety briefing thing before you can go out.
There's not really a safety briefing that morning. So the way Atterbury does it, you get drawn. You're required to go to their Atterbury military website.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up for the profile. They'll allow you to do your safety briefing right there on that website.
So it's iSportsman.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's it's your basic military safety briefing that they give you, and then that will allow you to buy your tag. And then the day of, if you don't show up, you don't get to hunt day 2.
Really?
You actually have to show up day 1 to hunt day 2.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
you get in as soon as you open the doors, you go straight to your zone, and then they have this map of the area, and you sign it where you want to hunt. And you don't have to change that spot for 2 days, or you could erase it and move it to another spot. It just depends where everybody else is, and you get to see where everybody's signed up at, so you're not on top of each other. But I found out last year the whole goal was pretty much to be on top of each other, so no deers got through. No deer got through.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they really do want to try to eliminate them on Atterbury. Man, they are so friendly. All the people at Atterbury, they welcome all the deer hunters with like deer signs, and it's like
Really?
it's an awesome camp. It's really
Wow.
awesome.
I've never hunted an area like that where people are like that. Normally, man, everybody's out. Now this is my spot. You don't come within
No,
200-300
no,
yards of me.
everybody's super helpful there.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
they go through a pretty important vetting process to get good zone leaders there, to where you don't have a bunch of, none of that stuff. They don't want
Jerks.
that riffraff over there. They care truly about Atterbury and hunting, and they don't want Atterbury to get no bad name. It's got a really good name right now for some quality deer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out then, because I've been putting in for Spring Mill, never got drawn for it yet.
Never gotten drawn for Spring Mill. It's extremely hard.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. So I put in for Muscatatuck
But
State
see,
Park, where it is last
if
year.
you don't get drawn for Spring Mill, you waste one of your entries that could have went to another state park, and that's
Yeah.
what cost me a buck tag last year, because I put in for Spring Mill and Versailles, and I should have put in for Brown County both.
That's what I'm thinking about this year. I think I'm gonna put in for Brown County and
It's
check
just
it
so
out.
big. It's so big, and there's a great chance you're going to get selected, and there's tons of public.
Well, I'm actually tomorrow. I'm real good friends with one of the hunting coordinators at Fort Knox. I'm gonna give them a call because you can hunt Fort Knox.
See, that's another. I don't understand whether it's one branch to the other, or like Crane. I don't understand why Crane is completely shut off to me, or
Well, I'll tell you why. This is the reason right here. I'm glad I have you on today. This is the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, because every military base is different.
right?
Everyone to hunt on is so much different. So Fort Knox, for me, just me to hunt it, I have to buy my Kentucky state tags.
Sure.
Then I have to buy tags to hunt on Fort Knox.
Military
Now,
tags.
Fort Leonardwood, Missouri, I don't have to. Leonardwood, you want to hunt there, me as a disabled veteran, I get resident prices in the state of Missouri.
Yeah. So you would be able to hunt Crane, no problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, in Crane, too, that's the thing. They told me that they have a disabled veterans only area. It's like 2,000 acres for just disabled vets.
Giants in there.
And I saw 2 guys killed 2 big monsters in there last year.
My buddy's dad was one of them.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw 2 of them post them on Facebook. They were giants. I was like, man,
The one in the
didn't have time
wheelchair
to
with
go
the
there last
band
year.
in the background was my buddy's dad.
Okay, I know exactly the one you're talking about, because the deer was laying on the ground in front of him.
A huge deer.
Yes. So that's
now I have a buddy that works with SCIC, and he's a contractor out at Crane. And I'll give you the perfect example, and I love the kid, right? All those acreages out there, and he's just not
Just can't do it.
Just don't want to go. And I know they're there. They're there. And I try
Oh
to
yeah, they
tell him,
are.
hey, this is what I would do. And he don't want to do it. So
One of the biggest bucks killed in the state of Indiana was killed on crane.
I know. It's a 231, you mean?
Yep,
Yeah. That was
it was a giant.
giant.
But a lot of people don't take advantage of what they have.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
would love
said,
to trade places with him. Love to.
yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I'll trade places with some of you guys. I mean, crane.
I'm right outside the gate. Like I said, I mean our property. There used to be a golf course that separated. Actually, Lauren's grandma's property, the one that bought all of ours.
Yeah.
This used to be a Black Angus farm. Well, they have their own chunk way out there, and her property butts up against the fence of Crane.
Wow.
So we're very close.
Oh
It
yeah,
would be
yeah, you
so
are.
helpful.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of acreage on Crane to hunt. There's a lot of great spots to hunt.
57,000 acres.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. It's something like
Greenwood
that.
Greenwood Lake is 2,000, something
Yeah.
like that
It's
by
huge.
itself.
It's huge. There's
Yeah.
there's some really good places to hunt there, but people don't take advantage of it.
At Atterbury, so there was a lot of military guys. So if you can imagine the camaraderie, I mean, we didn't even get in the woods till well after daylight, but my stomach was hurting from laughing so hard. I mean, you just run into guys that have spent 20, 25 years there. Do not ask them any pointers. They will not tell you anything.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
they just, they love their spots. They're not going to give away anything. But I was willing to put in, so I just picked a random spot that was up against they have these no hunting areas, right?
Yep.
And when up against these no hunting zones, they'll open up some of these hunting areas only for that gun hunt. And so I picked an area closest to that no hunting area. And the year or 2 years before, the guy that I was with that day, he had killed a really, really good 10 point. I think it was like 156 inches, something like that,
Hmm.
right there in that area. And I ended up killing that doe within 30 minutes of showing up. So
Yeah, I remember seeing your video. You no more than climbed up. You weren't there long. Here she come.
turn over this way. At first, it was the first one I was gonna shoot was a button buck, and although Atterbury allows button bucks, that's just if I can identify a button buck, I did not want to do that.
Nope.
And so I let that one go, and then of course he ran under me, and it was really good video and fun. So it was a great hunt. I can't wait to do it again this year. I hope. Of course, I say I hope, but you're probably going to get drawn if you do Atterbury. It's worth it. It truly is. Get there early.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in for it. If I get drawn, then I'll be calling you and saying, "Hey, listen."
Yeah, we can just ride up. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll just meet you up at your place, and I'll just ride up with you, and we'll go.
Because it is an whole process. They have you pull down into they have an entire area dedicated for us. It's
Really?
wild. Yeah,
Wow.
we'll pull down in there, and they'll. Of course, you got to line up, and that line stretches pretty long, if you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
But once you're in, everybody's signed up, and then they basically just say, "Hey, you're good," and release everybody, and then you got to be back, right before date. You can't hunt all night. Not one of the things. You got to leave at an appropriate time to get back. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it was an awesome hunt, and I highly recommend any of those. But a lot of people don't even know about the draw system. You got to go to the Indiana State portal, which
Yes.
obviously the draw hunt's open today.
Oh, did they open today?
There's going to be something available today, I believe, as of July 1st. And I think
Okay.
the military and state park hunts maybe August 1st.
Okay.
But the
I'll have to
window
look.
is now. The window is now, and a lot of people don't know that they missed the window.
Yeah.
So big month is July into August. Get onto the portal because they only open them when you can apply. So you can't apply for any of these hunts
Mhm.
unless they're open. So that will tell you whether they're open and they'll allow you to apply.
Now, what tag do you buy for those hunts? Do you buy the military refuge tag?
Yeah. So
Good.
I'm not sure how some of them work with the reduction zone. There may be some, but it's a military refuge tag. And at Big Oaks, it is earn a buck. You have to earn a buck at Big Oaks.
Okay,
right? So
that's
you have
good
to
to
kill
know.
a doe to kill your buck. And then if you kill another doe after your first buck, you can kill a second buck. And at
Really?
Big Oaks, if you hunt archery in gun season, you can kill a third buck in gun season.
Wow.
I have a buddy, Nick, he killed 3 giants there in the same year. Archery and then gun season.
See, I've got 2 buddies that hunt big oaks, and they're like, dude, I've never killed one there. They're like,
I've
we
never
don't.
seen a deer at Big Oaks. It's just the opportunity. It's a fenced in 50,000 acre piece of property. Now back in the 70s, they said you'd see 200 or 300 cross the road. I just need to see one.
Yeah, I've only been drawn for big oaks once.
I've never been
So,
drawn. I've always had to go with someone else.
really,
Yep.
I'm putting in for it this year. I'll put you down as my second. So
Heck
if I
yeah,
get
let's do it.
drawn, you can go with me.
So yeah, I've got some really good areas. I've gained some information. Like I said, I love the old heads.
Yes.
And so if I got to stand there and have a cup of coffee that's freezing cold with them for 4 hours, I'm gonna stand there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the best way to learn.
That's it. I
Those
love
guys that hunt
this
these
old
areas
this.
for 30 years, they're the best guys to talk to.
It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I hunt big oaks at least once a year. I try
Hmm.
to. It's a fun hunt for me, and I love Madison, Indiana.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now Triple O, which is a big supporter of Blocker, they are the outfitter there on Big Oaks property. Shout out to Triple O Outfitters if you do need an outfitter. Um,
Really?
but yeah, they have a big contract, or I don't know if it's a contract or a lease with part of the Jefferson Proving Grounds.
Okay. I
Um,
didn't know that either.
but I walked up to this old guy and I said, "Hey, I'm not asking for any spots. Can you give me any tips? Mind you, 50,000 acres.
Yeah.
Find the acorns." Tapped me on my butt and walked away. I was like, "Daggum, thanks for the tip."
I mean, he's not lying.
That's what he said.
He's not lying. I mean, I don't know. Uh, let's see. We moved back here in 2020. I started hunting back here in 2021. I think it was 2022. I got drawn for it wasn't Big Oaks. It was another one.
Well, you can't scout Big Oaks either.
No, no, that's what a buddy of mine was
That's
telling me.
another thing.
Yeah, you just got to go and you just go. You get your safety brief. You just go.
Those are the toughest hunts, the ones to where you are not allowed on property until the hunt begins.
He said the best way to scout it is to go up there and just kind of go like you're going to go small game hunting.
Or fishing.
Yeah, or fishing. And he's like, just kind of go and look around a little bit, but that's about all you can do.
Well, how my buddy Nick found his spots, he signed up for the turkey draw.
Oh,
And
okay.
he got drawn for the Big Oaks turkey draw. And there's a lot of turkeys in Big Oaks.
Yeah.
And so he just, was turkey hunting and ended up coming across some good previous year sign. And it worked out for him 3 times.
Jeez, I'd never get that lucky. I
I've
don't
got
get that lucky.
these guys in there, like you've got these guys that are 20-year guys that'll go in there and be like, you know where I'm going? I don't have any daggum clue where I'm going.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I even got down to the science of it. I broke down each individual section for the last 10 years based on the number of deer killed,
Yep.
and it still didn't work.
Well, don't they assign you a spot when you get there, don't they?
You have to call. As soon as you get drawn, they'll give you a date that you have to call. Good luck getting through, but you get that date and you call and you pick your zone. If your zone is already selected when you call, then you can either choose a different zone or choose to pick one when you get there, which obviously that's dumb because you'd have to wait behind the no-shows because Big Oaks also does no-shows,
Yeah.
which is another way I've gotten in. Highly successful at that too. I don't know many people. It has happened, but I don't know many people to get turned away.
All right.
But you show up for half of those guys won't show up that are drawn. And so they end up giving those positions away to a buddy. And the way that works is down there is you and your buddy put your name in. If your buddy gets drawn, you both get drawn.
Yeah.
And so y'all go on and hunt. And that's for both days. You get drawn, you get drawn for that one day, you both get to hunt. So
Yeah.
it's just another opportunity and like I said, I thought for the longest time Indiana was the one buck state. And it's just
Nope.
not true.
Nope.
So
used to when I was a kid, it kind of was, because some of these areas you really couldn't hunt, couldn't really get
sure,
on them. But now they've opened up more, and it's a sleeper state. It really is.
absolutely.
People don't realize the kind of deer we have in this state,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of glad they don't. Kind of glad they
Yeah.
don't.
Yep.
I
Um,
mean,
I know a lot of people get mad at like name dropping and people coming here from you. They think YouTube's the death of the hunting industry. Um, no, it's not. I actually am a firm believer that it's the individuals that are trying to privatize public land that is going to be the death to the hunting industry.
you are 100% correct.
And it's just baffling. So and that's one thing I wanted to tell you about, was just like how everybody is so possessive over a certain spot, like you mentioned. And that's one thing why I started the public grind, was because like that guy from Texas, I call him Tex, had no clue who I was and took a shot, and we ended up going to the Hoosier National and killing a red-faced bird like the day after he messaged me, he was so ecstatic. And he sent me a $1,000 production camera as a thank you,
Wow.
like a brand new Sony 4K camera. He told me he was sending me jerky because he's from Texas. I didn't ask questions.
Yeah.
And well, no, he sent me a brand new production camera. And so it's just like, it's stuff like that. I do that for anybody, and I tell people all the time that I want to get people like you or anybody else that doesn't have a platform. I know how to record and I know how to edit. So, not great enough. But I want anybody that hunts, involved or willing to partake. Anybody's willing to join my platform, and I think that's what is really stuck with a lot of people is the fact that I get everybody else involved, and Blocker seems to really like it. XOP, they're a couple of supporters of mine,
Yep.
and like I said, Jesse's house burnt down a couple of weeks ago, and of course we gave that turkey gun away. Now, those are all extra things that I like to do just because I like being in the woods, and I've met a lot of people because of it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna keep doing it for as long as I can. And this whole draw system in Indiana, people need to use it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of opportunities people don't know about. And
Yeah.
that's why it's not just about for Indiana. I want to get this information out there to everybody, because like I stated earlier, guys like me that are still in the Army, that travel to these different bases and stuff, don't know what their options are. I want to get the information out there to them. So if I got a guy that's listening to this, he's like, oh man, I'm going to Missouri next month. Heck yeah, I'm going to listen to this episode. He'll get the information he needs to be able to get on there. And I'm not saying he's going to kill a deer, but at least he can get in the outdoors. The kill the deer part's on him.
Usually every military base that you want, the process is this. If you want to hunt a military base, all you have to do is call the central office number. It's usually listed. If you don't get central office, you're going to get the little house at the gate, and they'll transfer you.
Yep.
You'll get someone that will give you usually a resource officer's number or something such as that. You usually have to do a background check. If you're already vetted to be able to hunt on base, you'll go through the background check, and once that's done, you've got free will to hunt that base as long as you can, especially soldiers, veterans that are able to hunt. Unlike me, I'm a veteran, I can't hunt, but that's okay.
I know it doesn't make sense.
It's okay. But I was unaware of that until, like I said, I tried to go hunt crane and I couldn't. So
you can hunt, which I'm going to take you down there. You're going to hunt Fort Knox with me this year.
Oh, where's that at? That's Kentucky, right?
Kentucky. Yep.
Yeah. So
you can hunt Knox. So, oh, you froze. There you go. You were frozen for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
can hunt Knox. So the only time it's hard for you to get on Knox is during gun season, because gun season is so packed.
It depends what the wife lets me do this year. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. Well, if she'll let you go, then I'd like to take you down there, because Knox is an awesome place to hunt.
So I also hunt Illinois as well. We hunt Clark County. I actually killed my turkey last year where the number 3 largest non-typical was killed. That farm just sold. And so we've got quite a bit of property in Illinois, but man, Illinois, man, just they're so salty. They love that price tag on theirs.
Oh yeah, I know.
You
I'm actually going. I don't know if I'll be able to gun hunt this year because of my neck.
Right.
So I always put in for the draw for gun season. We hunt Johnson County.
Okay.
It's way south. We're 15 minutes from Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
15
You're
minutes
down there
from
along the
Louisville.
river.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's my type of stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah. Man, you'd love where we're hunting at. We got a huge state lake back here at the very back of my buddy's farm. Right there, all the deer come around that farm and go right there to the lake to drink, come back out. He's got wheat and oats and stuff planted for them, so they're out there eating all that. It's a great place to hunt, but it's like for us to gun hunt, it costs about $375, something like that. Bow season, I'm going over for bow season this year, and it's like $400 and some for 2 tags.
Wow.
But it's like I love hunting over there, so it's like I'm going to pay that. I just won't go during gun season now.
Here's what I don't like about Kentucky, right? I buy my hunting license right now. It expires by turkey season.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
You buy it during turkey season, you can deer hunt. I
Yep.
was so mad. So but I do know that buck is still alive.
Oh yeah.
I actually found his sheds, so I know he's still alive. I have a buddy of mine that also found the other buck that was with him in that picture. My other buddy, of course, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like his name's Bailey. He's a freak of shed hunters in the state of Indiana. He went down there and found another one that he was roaming with, I believe. So I know that both of the big ones in Kentucky that I had on public were still alive. So,
Oh man.
and that's right off the water. Like where they were walking is 15 feet off the edge of the water.
Really?
That's it. They use the edge of the water and walk it, and then follow this slough all the way up into this big old finger between these giant fields.
See, they love water though. I mean, they have to have it to survive, so it's always a great place to hunt. That's why I'm putting a water source at my place. I want to get one there because we don't have a water source within a couple miles of here.
So that's my plan right now is to focus on Indiana. I have a couple of deer that I want to go after, but I think I'm gonna get back to the basics this year and simplify the hunting and just enjoy it, truly embrace it this year. I'm gonna apply for every tag that I can, but I'm gonna enjoy every single minute because at some point will be our last.
Oh yeah, it will.
So
Yeah.
I want to just make sure that everyone out there knows that there's a lot of opportunity out there, and especially for veterans. You just have to mainly just have to want to first, and then that phone call for the bases anyway.
Oh yeah.
Public, you can just go.
Yeah, public land is it's easy to go to. It's just a lot of guys don't know how to scout it, and that's why I wanted to have you on to talk about that. So
That's another point. There was a kid. He just posted on the Indiana deer hunting page the other day that he was wanting to start hunting.
Yes.
And I'm taking him this weekend.
Really?
And I'm going to show him exactly from the parking area that first footstep. I'm going to show him. And from there on, I hope he can grow.
Yes.
But a lot of people are like him, too intimidated, don't know what to look for, where to hunt. Yeah, and really you can simplify it like blocks. This block, this block. And I told him, I said, field edges and food. You can never go wrong.
No.
It may take some time on public, but usually those are going to get you a deer.
They will. They will. I mean, it goes back to what you said. You can apply it to anywhere you hunt. Doesn't matter if it's military base, it's public ground, private ground, whatever. It's all about the time.
Yeah, that's it.
You've got to make that time. Public ground is harder to put the time in. Because like we talked about a minute ago, people see your truck, they're going to start hunting there too.
That's why Dan Infalt has the hunt car, the scout car, he calls it. It's got stickers all over it, like peace signs and frogs and mom of the year and stuff like that on it.
Awesome. That's awesome. I think I'm going to go out from now on. If I go to public ground, I'm going to go out and jack my truck up that morning and take the wheel off so it looks like I broke down.
I've had my wife drop me off and pick me up.
I have buddies that do the same thing, so that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
There's one spot I hunt that you cannot access. It's right off the main highway. I will not park there. Not
No,
happen.
I
And
don't
so
blame
I
you.
have her drop me off on the backside, and when she picks me up, I walk all the way through scouting or hunting. Sometimes I still hunt. That's another type of hunting that
Yeah,
probably most people that's an advanced hunting style. But
it is.
uh, yeah, that's something else I'm trying to get better at myself.
I'm used to that out west. That's what you do when you hunt out west. I'm used to
Yeah.
that. 4 years of that. It's yeah.
Well, now down there and along the Mississippi River and in the Delta, you can really walk and you can see
Yeah.
so far that still hunting really comes into handy. But in Indiana, with all these rolling hills, you'll spook something 2 ridges over before you even get to them. So
Oh yeah, you'll never see them. You'll never see them. They'll know you're there. You'll have no idea.
that's it.
Well, before we conclude this, I want you to talk about your channel though. I want to get that out
Okay,
there too because I went when we first started talking. I went and checked it out and was watching some of your
okay.
videos. Like, man, you got a lot of cool hunts there, and there's a lot of information there. So talk about that a little bit too before we go.
Well, actually, it goes way back. Back in, I want to say, I wanted to start this whole video thing probably in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how to edit, and I didn't. And back then, you had to have this $10,000 camera set up.
Yeah.
Usually, it was your X8 A1s or your Campbell camera, you
Yeah.
know, recording set that were thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's much cheaper, and of course, even now, your phones are high quality video. A lot of people are doing that, but so I started a feed, seed, and nutritional supplement company. My first plan at Ball State was to um, I was actually trying to build exactly what Wild Game Nation built, but
Yep.
they actually had the better business plan and they had the funding. I was wanting to do the research. I was gathering private farms here in Indiana just to do the deer research on for products, and that was called Soggy Mist Outdoors with another guy that lives in Cloverdale named Mike Jones. Um, but I found out very quickly that the funding for that type of research is extensive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if to do it the right way and to actually have products that you can base, you almost have to have a deer farm,
Yeah.
and that's thousands. And so I put Soggy Mist Outdoors on the back burner, and I just started, putting my nose in the ground on learning how to hunt and learning, and I was turkey hunting that trip I told you about.
Yep.
Um, I was turkey hunting down in Kentucky, and me and Brett. So Brett, we met that morning at the boat ramp. We went and
Yep.
killed one. I was hunting at another spot at 1 p.m. I killed mine, and we were sitting in camp about 3 p.m. And Jeremy Aaron from Do It Yourself Hunter walks into camp, and I'm like, I know you, and he was like, yeah. I was like, I just watched your Alabama video, and Jeremy sat there around the campfire that night. He also dropped the Kentucky video from that trip,
Yep.
and we sat around the campfire that night and talking, and I knew a little bit about the industry, trying to record with Buck Commander way back in the day with
Yep.
Jordan Summit.
Yep.
So he was explaining to me, he had been trying to do this public land hunting thing on the Outdoor Channel for, 20 years. He actually did have Do It Yourself Hunter on the Outdoor Channel, but what Jeremy told me is Primos and all the other big names, highly successful, they had a product to sell. Jeremy
Yeah.
had a public land hunting idea. It wasn't a product.
Exactly.
And so he convinced me to pick up a camera and try again. And so I did, and I was recording, and I got one kill on camera, and I thought that I could do this on my own without having to kind of use a springboard or use because they built that, they built that,
Yep.
and so I decided to try the soggy mist thing, and I'm like, this just don't sound right, but And so I sat there and was just thinking and thinking and thinking. I was like, well, what do you do? Like, well, I hunt public land. I was like, well, I don't just hunt. I actually live out there, man. I actually grind out there. And I was like, there it
Yep.
is, public grind. And so I started accumulating these little videos. And then, of course, I've always been my wife will tell you I can talk to everybody. And
Yeah.
so I ran into a guy in one of these shows, and he was actually the ambassador coordinator for Blocker Outdoors. And um, I've been religious about the channel since I started it. I just wanted to try to produce good quality content, small buck, big buck, missed shot, doesn't matter. I just want you to see it all.
Yes.
And another thing, I didn't want to be fake. So many of these people out there are fake.
Yes.
They do something they're not supposed to, but you don't know that. You don't see that. Or
Yep.
they're in it for themselves or for the clicks or for the views. I want everybody involved. And if you're a stranger, you want on my channel, come on, let's go. I'll come record you. It's just another tag for me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I just, I started to show people how I hunt, and then the video comes naturally. But now what I'm really, really big on is hunting with people that have the like-minded goal of like me, that I have no clue who they are,
Yep.
and helping. And I want to help the younger guys, and I want to help people that just want to come here.
Yeah.
And so that's basically why I'm and where I'm at with the public grind. And so far, I've gotten a lot of really good messages from people that I love what you're doing. You're doing it the right way. The right people are paying attention.
Yep.
Um, and my biggest thing is I wanted to stay grounded and humble. I'm not going to kill some. I've never gotten any of my deer scored. None of that. He isn't scored. None of them are scored. I don't, I'm not going to kill some giant and try to claim to be the best hunter or any of that stuff. I just want to, I'm doing this anyway.
Yeah.
I just brought the video in it to help others now. And plus, if I die tomorrow, my son has all these videos to watch and see and try to learn from. And so that's where the public grind came from. And I'm really proud that the hats have sold well. Uh, I'm not trying to make any money off of anybody. I just, I was trying to cover the expenses for the hats, and it's been awesome, man. It's been really cool, really cool.
Dude, I love it, man. I've tried to self film a few times. I'm too shaky. I can't get the camera on the deer where I need them to be.
Yeah.
I gave it
Jeremy
up.
Aaron said there's a learning curve, and he was right. There's a big curve.
It really is. I mean, it's back before I really started filming, I thought, oh, it can't be that hard to film yourself. You got a camera up there, you move it, you shoot, it's done. No, there's a lot more that goes into it. You got
You'll
to
end up
make sure
missing
that deer's
9 of
in
the shots.
focus. It's got to be in the frame. You got to make sure that you get the deer stopped in the right spot. I think brain surgery would be easier than self filming yourself on a deer hunt. I really do.
Can't remember to grab the camera and shoot and then follow the deer running. Like, I
Nope.
forget. I'm just standing there the whole time, like, oh, there he goes.
The camera's
And let
still
me
looking
tell
at
you,
the
turkey
tree where the
hunting,
deer was standing.
turkey hunting's even worse, bro. I will shut every camera off because Dave Owen said the camera will cost you a bird. Oh, not yet. It'll go floating. Yeah, so it is hard, but again, if people are wanting to challenge themselves, try it.
Yeah.
You will regain your love for the outdoors once you see you can play it back and watch that hunt. That's what happened to me.
I'll be honest, man. I'm trying to set my property up for my kids to hunt.
Sure.
But if there's days I've only got a few hours left, I'll run down to the hill and go hunting.
Yeah.
I use this nonstop. Man, if I've got, a couple of small bucks come in or a couple of doe that I know I'm not going to shoot, I'll just sit there and take video of them. I just enjoy, I'll be sitting on the couch when deer season's over. I'll just go back through my videos and just watch them, just to relive hunting season.
Yep.
And it's like I told my kids, I said, the best part of hunting for me is not killing something. It's just watching the woods come alive.
Yeah. The woodsmanship.
Yeah, you just get there an hour before daylight, and when daylight starts to hit, and all the birds start chirping, squirrels come out and stuff. That's the best part of hunting right there. Just watching the woods come alive.
What was I? Oh, I thought about something. I was gonna. Oh well, I forgot what I was going to mention, but I was going to sit there and was talking about public land. Oh, what was it? You just mentioned it, but that's all right. We'll go on to the next subject. I have no idea what that is. It was important, but not because you like. I'm listening, right? So I'm like a squirrel when it comes to hunting terms. I'm like, huh? I'm like, I hear that too. I already know what it is. All right, I got it back.
Go ahead.
So they always say do what you love, right?
Yep.
The public grind is the public grind because this is really all I've ever known. I've only ever known hunting. It's just I've taken it from a hunting aspect and sharpened it down to mature buck hunting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there that want to hunt just to hunt, fill the freezer. That's good.
Yeah.
And you do that. I will cast zero judgment whether you kill a spike, one with still milk on its mouth. They taste
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
That's something else. Like that's what I meant. I told you about all the hate. Like these guys will get on there and ask for advice or help or post a picture of a young deer, even though they're proud of it, they'll get absolutely attacked.
Oh yeah.
And so that's why I started the public grind too, was to kind of fight those type of people out there. Because I've dealt with it firsthand, and I don't really put up with that.
No.
So
It's people like that that ruin hunting for people, though.
yeah, I do this anyway. So I mean, I love the outdoors, and if I can have one video or one follower watch my videos and it maybe help them kill a deer, I'll keep posting videos. I don't need all those subscribers.
That's why I'm doing this podcast. I want to
Yeah.
do this just to, if I got some, like, and I saw the post you're talking about on the Indiana hunting page, and I saw you comment on it.
Yeah.
This right here is if there's some kid that's sitting in his car going to work and he likes podcasts and stuff, and he comes across mine and listens to it. Oh man, I never thought about acorns. Never thought about acorns to be a really good source to check out. Or hey, you know what? I've been wanting to hunt Atterbury. I'm gonna go check it out, or I want to hunt big oaks. Okay, now I know what to do.
Now they know.
Yes, I just want to get this out there for the information just to help somebody out. If it changes one kid's outlook on hunting or the way they hunt and helps them be successful, I did my job.
That's it.
I did my job. I don't do this to make money. I do this just to have fun. Because me and you have a lot of similarities the way we hunt. And that's what I want to talk to is like-minded people, like you just said a while ago. Like-minded people, that's what I look for when it comes to hunting. And
well, I'm excited to see where it goes and see who else you get on here, man. That's what about you? How long have you been doing it? Like, what's your plan?
So this is only my second episode for the podcast.
Okay.
I was like you, I grew up hunting, and I grew up exactly the same way you said it was. You sit right here and don't move.
Yeah.
If you're walking in, you snap a limb, you get that. They don't even say a word. They just turn and look at you.
Yeah, that's it.
You messed up.
Yep.
So I grew up the same way. Now, it was different because I grew up hunting a lot of private land because we used to have a pretty good sized farm in our family, and they've kind of sold it off now. But I grew up hunting that. I hunted a little bit of public land, and back then there wasn't really as many people hunting now as there is now.
Exactly. That's huge.
Yes, and that's what makes a difference. And that's why when we moved back here, I want to get my own piece because you hear all the horror stories, you see them all over Facebook now. And that's what's really killed a lot of it is social media.
Yeah.
Social media is, it puts a bad outlook on hunters in general. And you got, like you said, these guys that they get excited by a spike buck. They go out and kill one. Everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? That's horrible.
Well, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? It makes them happy. Who cares? I just had, and I know I'll get a phone call after this episode drops. This guy will call me. But a real good friend of mine, we hunt Illinois together every year. He shot an 8-point last year. Now, he asked me, would you have shot this buck? I said, knowing what's here, no. But I had.
Did it make you happy?
And that's what I told him. I said, if it makes you happy, who cares? Because his wife gave him shit. She goes, well, it's kind of small, isn't it?
Oh, no. The wife.
Dude, it ruined his whole hunt. His whole mindset changed. And I felt so bad for the guy. And I told him, I said, listen,
that's terrible.
I had a goal last year for hunting season. I killed my big buck. Here was a big 7-point. In Illinois, we had another real big 7-point on camera. I wanted to be the season of 7.
So bad.
Yeah, and I wanted to be the season of 7. So I was after that buck. So I told him, I said, it didn't matter if a big 10-point walked out. I was letting that buck go. I wanted that big 7-point. But I told him, I said, who cares what people say? If it makes you happy, shoot it.
That's it.
So I told him, I said, if that's the way you want to hunt, you hunt the way you want to. I said, now, if you tell me, hey, man, don't let me shoot a small buck, then I won't.
Right.
But if you go out and say, hey, I'm shooting whatever I want, the floor is yours. Take whatever you want.
I wanted to touch base on something now. It's a very little. There's one word that separates people that want to kill deer. There's one thing you got to do to kill bigger deer.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah.
Like the minute I started passing every other deer that walked by, usually you're going to find that big buck's off trail somewhere close by letting the other ones walk by. I wanted to make sure I touch base on that for any new people that may, or even just can't get over the hump of seeing them big deer.
Yep.
Let's not shoot any deer that comes in, whether it be doe, unless she's blowing at you. She's got to go.
Yeah, she's got to go.
But if y'all just sit back and watch those deer go by, I bet you'll see the limit of mature buck sightings go up.
And that's the thing, man. That's why I like having guys like you on that have so I call you a well-rounded hunter is what I call you, because you're not just strictly hunting ranches or private farms. You're getting out there and you're hunting private land, you're hunting public land, you're hunting military land, you're hunting all these other areas and stuff that a lot of people don't have access to or don't even know about.
Right.
So that's why because I was talking to a buddy of mine about how I wanted to, get people on here, the guests I wanted to have and what order to put them in. And I wanted you to be pretty much my first guest on here because you have all that experience.
Right.
Listening to you talk, it's like I learned a lot just talking to you for the last hour or so.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I know other people that are just new to hunting, like the guy you're taking out now, it's going to help them a lot.
Absolutely.
But I've got the next few guys I have coming on they're all vets like you are.
Nice.
They've hunted a lot more bases than you have because they were in longer or in different places, or they hunt them now. And that's the one thing, like I was telling you, that every base is different. There's bases out there you could hunt. They're all right. You could hunt on Fort Leonard Wood too. You can hunt Fort Knox.
That's Missouri, right?
Yeah.
What about Leavenworth?
It's a draw. You can hunt it. It's a draw.
Do you still have to use the point system for it?
You can. So what they do, the way Kansas does theirs, so you put in Fort Leavenworth, because that's where I killed my biggest buck ever, was on Leavenworth. You put in for the draw. If you get drawn, then you go hunt. Now you have to go through a class.
Sure.
But you have to go in person.
Oh.
Because they do a safety brief and they do what they call a tree stand draw. So they have a big map of Fort Leavenworth of all the hunting areas. Now, when you get these two little cards, they're about this big, about that big. You carry one on you, the other one goes on the hunting board, that big map.
Sure. Kind of like marking your spot.
Yes. Now, when you do the safety brief, they'll turn around and do the tree stand draw about 2 hours later. You'll have all these guys in this big room, and they'll bring in this big old hat and sit down the thing. You'll take one of your cards, you'll fold it up, drop it in that hat. As they draw your card out, they'll call your name. You can have these two little stickers that have your number on it. So every hunter on base has a number that year.
Yeah.
You'll go up and stick on the board where you're going to hunt. Now, Leavenworth is kind of like you were talking about with Atterbury, where guys are like, oh, man, that's my area.
Yeah.
Leavenworth is the same way. And I was one of those guys. I had one area I always hunted because I always killed big deer in there. That was where I was going to hunt. You'll have those guys, and everybody knows where they're going to go. And then your second sticker, once everybody in the room's got their first one up there, you just walk up the board and put it somewhere else if you want.
As a backup, right?
Yeah, as a backup spot, because Leavenworth, you can go out and scout all you want. There's
okay.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
Yes, you can scout every single day if you want to. And that's what I did. My job, I was an MP, but I was a canine handler.
Sure.
I would go out and train in the mornings with my guys. They would take my dog back. I'd hit the woods and I'd scout the rest of the afternoon and evening. So once you do that, then if you get drawn for tags, you go out and you hunt. Now, I always tell guys, I start out bow hunting out there.
Yeah.
But the day bow season starts, so does muzzleloader.
Oh, ooh. I
So
don't know if I'd
I'd
like
take my
that the
muzzleloader.
same day.
Yeah, same day.
Ouch.
So I take my
I never
muzzleloader.
cared. I never cared for gun hunters. I promise you, in Indiana, because I grew up in Mississippi hunting with rifles, I didn't
Yep.
touch a gun for years because
Yep.
I didn't know the bow side. I
Yeah.
wanted to learn the archery side, and everybody always would say they get real close to you in archery. You'll Well, once I felt that, I really didn't care to pick the gun up again.
Yeah.
It was a while, but a matter of fact, I hunted with a shotgun until last year, and I bought my 400.
I've got a lot of buddies that they won't gun hunt. They'll bow hunt all year long. That's all they'll
A
do.
lot of guys like that.
And I got respect for them. It's like, for me, I like taking the gun out sometimes. This year is going to be one of those years for me because I don't think I'll be able to use a gun. I'll be
Yeah.
strictly bow. But I've been successful with bow before, so I'll take it again. I don't mind.
So there's something else that we can talk about. One more thing, there is a change to the Indiana archery law that I didn't know about.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
hear this either. So what's that?
Crossbows and archery equipment are now under the same tag. There is no crossbow tag anymore. That
Okay.
confused a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either myself.
Yeah.
Because
Technically, I didn't know.
I don't buy tags a lot of times because I hunt my own place.
Yeah.
I just started hunting public ground a lot last year. So I did buy my tags, but before I always hunted on here. So I just use whatever, whenever, and just tag it under landowner.
Yeah.
So I didn't
I've
know
never
that.
had. We have a landowner. I could do that, but I've never even. I thought you had to have licenses for it too. Of course, we have ours in protected forest and all kinds of stuff. We don't technically have it. I mean, I know there's all kinds of rules with what you have to have or don't have or something like. I never got into it, so I just bought the tags. I didn't
Oh yeah.
know.
That's what I'm doing now. Every year I'll buy my tags because I want to be able to go and hunt all the different public areas around here. I want to go
The
ahead and get my tags so I can go hunt, all these different bases and stuff. So
the deer bundle helps out in the state of
yeah,
Indiana. So you can buy the deer bundle, which is $1, 2 does, or 3 does for all seasons, or you could buy individual tags plus the state parks plus the military bases.
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. You can get when you start digging into it, you can kill a lot of deer in a state. Not even just bucks. You can kill a lot of deer in a state.
Now, for the record, I did have 6 buck tags. Only killed 2 of those 6.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We were figuring up one night about how many bucks you could kill in this state, and I knew it was like 5 or 6 bucks.
Yeah, I think it's 9 total if you draw the system right.
Wow, I couldn't imagine having 9 buck tags for this state.
It'd be so hard to fill them all. It's just, several of those hunts are only 2 to 3 day hunts.
Yep.
So, I know it has happened, especially my buddy, Nick, he got 3 of those giants all in the same year, all from the same base. Uh, and,
Hmm.
and then he still had his state tag. Oh, I'm sorry. So 2 of them came from Big Oaks, and then he filled his state tag still.
Wow.
But then he also still had a reduction zone tag, so he could have killed 4. I think he had 5. I got 6 last year, so.
Jeez, I couldn't imagine. I don't. That's a
I
lot of
tried.
deer.
It was hard. I really tried to fill them all, but once I killed that reduction zone on that special hunt I was involved with last year, that was another thing. That video is dropping here soon.
Okay.
I got invited to hunt Griffey Lake, which is the lake across from Indiana University.
Yep.
And so I had to go via very much military style to Panther Ridge. And it's a gun range ran by a bunch of military veterans.
Yep.
And you had to shoot 3 shots to qualify. You all had to qualify, so I had to re-qualify as a grown adult, which is awesome. I got to do that again and of course the military guy is like barking down your neck, so you're kind of nervous. So I was wanting to make sure I put good shots down range, and I think it was I want to say it was either 80 or 100 yards, and you had to have all 3 shots within a dip can of rifle of your choice for public land. And that's how I killed that giant that I killed last year. So
Jeez.
that video is dropping in August. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure, man. I push people over to your page for sure, because there's
I
a lot of good
appreciate it,
videos, a lot of
man.
good information.
I really do. I hope it grows, and I just hope people continue to like what I do. And I'm not
Oh, I
really
think they
doing it
will.
for any favoritism or celebrity status. I just love doing it. So if it
I think
helps,
it'll
that's all
grow.
that
I think it'll
matters.
continue to grow because I mean, you're a very down to earth guy,
I
and
appreciate it.
you're all about helping people out. I mean,
Right.
I can pull up a ton of posts on Facebook. I've seen that you've got on and help people. So it's like, yeah, I don't see it not growing at all. I see it being very successful. So
Well,
I
I
appreciate you
appreciate it.
coming on here today.
No doubt. I would love to see the future guests you have too. So
Like I said, man, Spotify and YouTube is where this will be dropping. This
make sure you
episode,
send me the links so I can make sure I go over to your stuff as well.
yeah, I will. I'll shoot it over to you, and then these two episodes here is where I'm gonna make this two episodes. One will drop August 15th. The other one drops September 15th.
Sweet.
So
And
I'm gonna
that's right when
start.
I'm doing my deer video.
Yeah, I'm doing all mine on the 15th of each month for now. But then once I get enough guys built up into the queue, then starting probably January, I'll probably drop every 2 weeks.
Can I tell you how hard it is to hold footage of a giant you dropped in his tracks for a year?
I couldn't do it. I
It
couldn't
is
do
a,
it.
but honestly, once you hit November 1st, YouTube is saturated.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah, I
you
can see
wait
that.
until the next season, those views are going to go up. And so that's why I'm waiting. Last year, I held that footage for a year and it got 50 something thousand,
Wow.
which on YouTube is pretty, 100,000 is really good
Oh
for a
yeah.
deer hunting video.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm hoping this one's bigger. So I'm hoping this one does pretty well. And of course, I'm a comedian and I pick up deer poop and I'm like, smells like a 150. You know, I do all kinds of stuff. Like I make it fun.
You're like me. 'Cause I took a buddy of mine on his first deer hunt, and we're walking out through the woods, and I stopped. I put my hand up. He goes, "What's wrong?" I took my stand off and sat down. I laid down on the ground, put my ear to the ground. I was like, 5 deer that way.
Yep, listening for footsteps.
Yeah, he stopped and looked at me. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to find the deer for you."
Hey, you said you wanted to learn, right?
I'm teaching you how to do this. Oh man, yeah, we'll get along real well. I'm telling you, we'll get along.
I look forward to it, man. I'm always down to hunt too. So
All right.
obviously we love French Lick. We come down there all the time. I didn't realize till today you were in French Lick. Actually,
Yeah.
I had no idea. So you're really close. So a lot of ground between me and you can meet up and hunt on a day. So
Oh yes, there's a ton of public ground here. So,
yeah, yeah.
well, man, I'm gonna let you go. Let you get to the family. I'm gonna go in here. I got
Alrighty.
dinner to cook, I guess.
That's
But
all right.
dude, it was
Great
great
talking to
having
you.
you on. I appreciate you coming on here. The biggest thing I really appreciate though the most, man, is having you share the knowledge that you have.
Sure, thank you.
That's my thing. I love to do with people. I love putting knowledge out there for them. Any experiences I have, whatever, and that's why I want people like you to come on here and just put that out there, man, because that's how people learn.
That's it.
That's how people learn.
If it's not written down, just like that's why I'm tapping into all the OG's head, because if it's not written down, it's gone.
Exactly. And that's what, quick story here. I used to tell my guys in the Army as dog handlers, I will always pass my knowledge down to you.
Sure.
If you're one of those people, you don't pass it down, you should not be here, because the way hunting evolves, deer habitat, deer behavior evolves too.
Yeah.
You may do something now that works great here, but you go to Kentucky or Illinois, it may not work so well.
Exactly.
And that's why I want to get guys like you on here that have that knowledge and that experience, but they're willing to pass it down.
Yeah.
I don't want to get guys on here that they think they're the best, they're cocky, they don't want to pass it on, because you're not doing the listeners any good at all.
That's it.
That's why I appreciate you coming on, man. Because like I said, I know you love to help people out.
That's
you love to teach. I'm gonna have you on again a couple more times if you'll come on.
Absolutely, love it.
I love talking to you, man. I love the stories. I love the experience. So with that, go enjoy the family. Thanks for coming on, man. I will be getting a hold of you soon. We will be getting together this year, doing some hunting and killing some stuff.
Hey, sounds good, man. Good luck in this year, and let me know how it goes.
Thanks, man. You too. You take care.
I will see you.
All right, see you, man. All right, everybody. That was Jeremy Bell, Air Force veteran. I wanted to have Jeremy on to talk to everybody a little bit, just to get him that knowledge and experience that he has. I'm older than he is, but I've learned a lot from him just over the last year or so, and that's why I wanted to get him on here to talk to everybody. He's got the experience hunting some military bases, and that's what my podcast is going to be really based around, but I want to evolve it too to include everyone, because it doesn't matter you're a veteran, you're active duty, you're a civilian, you can still learn from this, and I want to help everyone out. And that's why I wanted him on, because I know he's the same way. He wants to help everyone. So, I just want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in, listening and stuff. These 2 episodes will be dropping, over the next couple months. I'll put some information out on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff when they're going to drop. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. And, it was great having you guys. Everybody take care and have a safe evening.